Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on marketing management, and in this series of our discussion on the topic of marketing management, we are going to have a discussion on the pricing decision and strategy. This is going to be part 3 of our lectures on the topic. This is going to be part 3 of pricing decision and strategies, and in today's lecture I'll be telling you about pricing strategies, PLC pricing, and also the pricing policy. So let me tell you what exactly we mean by pricing strategy. Having said strategy, we mean to indicate that there is some policy to compete with our competitors. So whenever we are drafting our policies in order to compete with our competitors, or in order to face our competitors in a positive manner, we are actually formulating a strategy. So developing an effective price strategy is basically a crucial part of any marketing plan which we are having in our hand. Why it is so crucial, why it is so crucial and important? Because it is enabling us as a marketer to set prices which are consistent with our objectives and also appropriate for our target market. So it should go hand in hand with whatever objectives we had in our vision, mission and objectives prescribed and described by the company at different points of time. So we have to understand that whatever objective, whatever vision and mission we have crafted for our company or for our organization, we should never forget that. So whatever activities we are performing, in all activities of ours, there has to be a reflection of our objectives, our vision and mission. So keeping that in mind or getting aligned with that, we are actually drafting and making or formulating our pricing strategy, and it actually enables a marketer to set prices which are consistent with our goals and objectives, and of course they are supposed to be appropriate for our target market. So we have already had a long discussion on factors which affect pricing decision, and there we had a list of factors that affect. Some of them they are controllable, some of them they are not controllable, some of them they are called as internal factors, and of course there are some factors which are external to the organization, or they are also called as uncontrollable. So in that series we had discussed that the cost and expenses, supply and demand, consumer perception, competition, government regulation and technological trends, all these factors are significantly going to affect our pricing decision. Although there are some other factors as well which are going to have impact on our pricing decision, but these are some of the significant factors which in any case are going to have a very significant impact on our pricing decision. So when we are taking or making a pricing decision, it is never made in isolation. We have to keep in mind what is the situation of market, what is the situation of supply and demand, what is the way my consumers are going to perceive. As we all know that consumer perception is outcome of certain external factors also. Along with the internal factors, there are certain external factors like price, brand reputation and store reputation, which is going to give a reflection of the quality and the brand value of a product. So we have to understand that price, brand reputation and store reputation, all these factors, when they are combined together, they are helping a customer to form a perception about a company, about a product. And along with that, we had already discussed about competition, government regulations and many more factors which are affecting the pricing decision of a company. There we discussed about price gouging, price fixing, resale price maintenance and unit pricing. So just to give a recapitulation of what we had discussed, I thought it pertinent to give a brief description of the factors that affect pricing decision, and we had already discussed about them in great detail. Now we'll be moving on to pricing strategy decision. Pricing strategy decision, or what you call as how to be strategic into your pricing decision. So it is always said that once you have decided your target market, you have to consider your target market as your as and when you are making pricing decision in terms of strategic factors or in terms of strategic significance. So we have to first select a basic approach to pricing, that what is going to be the basic approach of pricing of my company when I am going to enter into the market, whether it would be market penetration or it is going to be the skimming the cream policy. So it is we as a company who has to decide that what is my basic approach towards pricing, and once we have decided that basic approach, we can decide our pricing policy, and eventually we can set a price based on the different stages of the PLC. Why we are saying that we have to set a price based on the stages of PLC? Because along with the different stages of PLC, all your strategies, be it product, price, place or promotion, they are bound to face certain changes. You have to make certain amount of change into your strategies or into your marketing mix when you are moving from one stage to another of PLC. So you cannot have the same strategy at the introduction stage and also the decline or maturity stage. So introduction, growth, maturity and decline, all four stages of your product life cycle, they demand for some significant pricing strategy, some significant product strategy, or you can say differing styles of managing with these stages. So you cannot have the same strategy at all levels, at all stages of your PLC. So once you have decided the basic approach to pricing and you have determined what is going to my pricing policy, everyone in your organization and also the customers, they are aware that yes, this is the policy of the company, but along with the different stages of PLC, there are going to be certain changes into the pricing method or into the pricing policy that we are going to witness. So my dear learners, when it comes to pricing strategic decisions or pricing strategy decision, it is not only one decision that yes, you are going to decide a pricing method. Method doesn't reflect your strategy. Strategy is always demanding for differing levels of responses to the varying situations. When your situations are different, how can you have the same solution? So one size fit all approach cannot be implemented here also. You have to understand that one pricing policy is not going to suffice the purpose. You have to understand that each and every stage of PLC is demanding for different kind of strategic decision by your company, by you as a marketer. So once you are deciding a basic price, you can either go for cost based pricing or you can go for demand based pricing or competition based pricing. This is something which we have already discussed in the previous lectures of mine when I was telling you about these different bases of pricing, that what is cost based pricing, what is demand based pricing and eventually the competition based pricing. And we also had a discussion on different methods of pricing, that the way prices are being defined. What is our point of discussion in today's lecture is that through the different stages of PLC, what kind of changes we are going to make. So all products, they are bound to move through the four stages of their life cycle, starting from introduction, then growth, maturity and eventually decline. At times at the stage of maturity, some of the marketers, they are trying to extend the PLC in order to ensure that the product doesn't face decline. So you have decided that yes, my product has passed through introduction, growth and now I am at the maturity stage. This is a stage where each and every marketer feels a state of equilibrium. Having said equilibrium means absence of change. I don't want any kind of change at this stage, because this is a stage where my profit is maximum, where my market share is maximum, where my sales is maximum. So it means this is a stage where I'm enjoying the market as a product. So every marketer dreams of the extended period for this stage of maturity. So they are trying to have a lasting phase of maturity whenever it comes to the life cycle of a product. But eventually, somehow, in one way or the other, every product has to face the fourth situation called decline. But in some cases, marketers are successful in extending the PLC by adding some USPs into a product, by making certain changes into the product, by having a significant or what you call as metamorphical change into the features of the product, their design style. And in some cases it is said that now there is it is going to be a new avatar or a new reincarnation of a product. And at times marketers are doing the assassination of their own brand and trying to reincarnate with the new one, just to give a new life, just to rejuvenate that product life cycle, the PLC curve, so that the product doesn't see the state of decline and they can extend the stage of maturity. And pricing is one of the significant strategies in the toolkit of a marketer, because this is the point, this is something where customers are always looking for, because on one hand it is going to be a source of revenue for us as a marketer, and on the other it is going to be a cost to be incurred by the customers. So customers are always interested in having the effective gain in terms of reduced cost along with the value or the quality what they are receiving. So they are happy with the quality, but the moment there is some reduction in the price, it is acting as a kind of icing on the cake. So you are feeling more satisfied when you feel that the greater value or the same value is being received in terms of a product at a reduced price. So most of the marketers, that is why at times they are going to make certain changes into their prices even when they are at the stage of maturity, or they are offering some added advantage to the customers at the same price. So either the greater quantity is being delivered at the same price, or there is a delivery of same quantity or same quality at a reduced price. In both the situations, customers are feeling more than happy. That is called a state of delight, that they are feeling delighted. And that is something which is helping marketer in extending their own PLC, or having a lasting, having a long expansion of the stage of maturity. So when we talk about the product life cycle pricing, price skimming is commonly used whenever marketers are introducing a product, and they know that this practice is being used just to ensure that we are going to charge a higher price on a new product or service, just in order to recover the kind of cost and expenses we have incurred, and also maximize the profits as quickly as possible. And marketers are very much vigilant to ensure that the price is going to be dropped when the product or service is no longer unique. And some of the marketers, what they do in order to ensure the uniqueness of the product, whenever they are witnessing the decline in the uniqueness of the product, what they try to do, they try to add some more features, some new features into the product, so that it actually becomes a unique product, or it remains a unique product. And the previous models, their customers are getting discounts and offers. So price skimming is also introduced at the stage of introduction, along with the penetration pricing as well. Penetration pricing is also commonly used while introducing a product, but it is done by those companies which are ab initio very much sure that our target is to have n number of customers, our target is to have market leadership in terms of market share. So here marketers are, what they are trying to do is they are trying to build sales by charging a low initial price to keep unit cost to customers as low as possible. So their target is that per unit profit may be minimum, but when it is being aggregated, the sum total of the entire profit becomes a huge amount, becomes a significant amount to the company. So my dear learners, penetration pricing or skimming pricing, there is no denial to any of these strategies. It depends upon the kind of strategic policy you have crafted for yourself. If you believe that you are into a business where you have incurred huge amount on account of research and development, and you want to ensure that this R&D activity goes on, of course you have to do the funding of that, and funding comes from the sales only. So there it becomes inevitable for a marketer to initially implement the skimming the cream policy, and later on they go for having some reduction in the price of a product. But if your product is not of that kind, and you feel that you want larger market share, you want to reach to the masses by the way of your product, then of course penetration pricing is the strategy which you are going to adopt. And psychological pricing techniques later on they are going to follow with your skimming or market penetration technique, whichever you have implemented. There is a situation of prestige pricing, odd even pricing, price lining, promotional pricing, multiple unit pricing, bundle pricing, and many more. So you would find that most of the marketers, and time and again, they are using differing pricing techniques just to ensure, just to stay relevant in the marketplace. Or you can say they are showing their response to the customers, that yes, we are responding to your requirement, we are responding to the situations, and we are not very much adamant or rigid in terms of fixing our price. So according to the requirement of the market, they keep on changing their pricing methods, their pricing techniques, and the example of those techniques I had already discussed. Now when we talk about pricing strategy, there is always a discussion about the break-even analysis. Some people ask me, sir, what is the point of using this break-even analysis when it comes to formulating strategy for a price? Of course, break-even analysis doesn't gives you a point of profit, because it always tells that this is a point where a firm makes no profit, no loss. Or you can say it is a point where you have recovered your all cost. So beyond this, whatever you are selling, that is going to add some amount to your profits. So of course it is not going to give me a reflection of the point of profit, but once I am able to understand that this is the minimum sales required to meet my total cost, then of course I can set a higher target for my company to ensure that we are making a significant amount of profit, which actually infuses lifeblood into our business, because without profit no company can survive, without profit no brand can survive. So if I am really willing to contribute to the value addition into my business or into my product, then of course my company should survive, and for that survival, profit is something which is like a lifeblood for us. So profit is actually a lifeblood, and business cannot survive without profit, and profit comes from sales only, that is price only. So we may list certain considerations for updating the pricing strategy, and in break-even analysis what we do, we all understand, when I have to calculate break-even point, I will simply take up fixed cost and I shall divide it by the contribution per unit, if I am really willing to know the number of units to be sold by my company to remain at the break-even point, to reach to the break-even point, or if I am willing to know the value in terms of rupees, it can be PV ratio. So as a person of marketing and finance, we can understand that yes, this is the finance of marketing, where we have to calculate the selling price or number of units which are to be sold out. So break-even point is the point at which the gain from an economic activity equals the cost involved in pursuing it. So here the total cost is equal to total revenue. And as I told you, it doesn't tell us what price you should charge for a product, but it is giving you a fair idea of the number of units you must sell at various prices to make a profit. So it is giving you an idea that yes, at different prices, if your pricing is different, to ensure that you don't incur a loss, your company doesn't incur a loss, a product doesn't incur a loss, you can decide the requisite number of units, that yes, this is the minimum number of units to be sold out to ensure that the company doesn't incur any loss. And of course, over and above that level, whatever sales you are adding, that is going to bring some profit to you. So eventually what happens, the marketing department is giving sales target to their sales personnel in proportion to the requirement of their business, and here the break-even analysis is a significant and powerful tool in the hands of marketer. They are actually in sync with the finance department to understand that what should be the minimum sales, what should be the minimum units we should produce, what should be the minimum profit we are supposed to make, what is the exact number of units to be sold out to ensure that the requisite quantum of ROI, that is return on investment, is retrieved by my business. There is a very popular term when we talk about break-even analysis. There is a very popular term which comes in front of us is markup pricing, or markup and markdown. These are two terms which many times comes in front of us. What is markup? So business that purchases or manufacture goods for resale, they are using this kind of strategy. So if I am into a business of reselling, or I am acting as a wholesaler or retailer, then in that case I am not into manufacturing. I had purchased some goods from from any manufacturer or from any wholesaler or other dealers, and I am going to resell it to my customers. So there is some addition to the price at which I have purchased the product from my previous manufacturer or the reseller. So markup pricing is based on the cost of an item. Suppose I had purchased some goods at 100 rupees from a reseller, and I had to pass it on to the customers, and I want that there has to be a 10% of ROI on my investment. Then of course 100 plus 10%, 110 rupees is going to be the price. So the value addition which I am going to make into the price which I am going to charge from my customer is actually the real definition of markup. So markup means you are adding some value adding some price to the cost of yours. So markup is actually the amount added to the cost of an item to cover expenses and ensure a profit. So it includes not only my margin but also my expenses. So suppose if I am adding 10 rupees and I had already incurred 5 or 6 rupees per unit on account of their transportation, ensuring storage and everything, or the salary of employees, then of course 4 rupees is going to be my margin. When we talk about markdown, as we all understand, entrepreneurs may use markdown pricing also. Now you must be thinking that, am I going to sell the product less than the price at what I had purchased? Answer is yes. There are certain situations where we had to resort to such kind of strategies. So they may use markdown pricing to tempt shoppers to buy in order to reduce inventory. Suppose my inventory is the level of inventory is in greater proportion to that of my storage capacity. I cannot carry that much of inventory into my godowns, and there is a huge supply into that godown due to some reasons. So in that case, I may had to resort to markdown pricing. So there, what we'll do will be selling the products at less than the price at what we had purchased. So markdown is the amount of money taken off an original price. So it is a deduction from original price. So that can also be a strategy. So as a marketer, you cannot be rigid to your pricing policy. Whatever market and circumstances demand accordingly, you have to make certain decisions. You have to take certain decisions, rather I would say. Because if market is demanding, if situation is demanding that yes, you have to reduce the price, otherwise customers are not going to buy, and you cannot carry on with the huge quantity of the product, and that carrying cost is greater than that of the margin which you are having from the product, then it is always advisable to resort to this markdown pricing policy. It is the amount of money taken off the original price. Now some students ask me, sir, do you think that markdown and discounts, they are different? Answer is yes. In marking down, there is a deduction below the level of the original cost, that whatever cost you had incurred, below that you are going to sell the product, less than the cost which I had incurred to buy a product. Or in case of manufacturing, you can say you are going to charge less than your total cost. But when we are offering discounts, discounts are always offered from our margins only. Whatever margin I had, from that I am passing on some part of my margins to the customers. So it is a kind of passing on the benefit to your customers from your own margin. So a discount is a kind of reduction in price to the customer. You are making a reduction in the price to the customer, so that customer feels that there is a discount which is being received by me. And here what we do, we simply multiply the item price by the discount percentage. Suppose you are offering 10% of discount, you have to simply multiply your selling price with that of the rate of discount, and then you get the discounted price. So we have to subtract the discount from the price, and the customers are receiving the discounts. At times, marketers are asking that what can be the probable changes to the pricing strategy. Probable changes to the pricing strategy can be adjusting prices to maximize profit, or reacting to market prices, or at times revisiting or revising terms of sale. So I may not be willing to make changes into my pricing policy, but at times I had to make adjustment to the prices in order to maximize profit. So adjustment in price is being done to maximize profit, or at times I have to react to market prices. Suppose my competitor had resorted to some different strategy, and in order to face that competition, there is an urgent need to reduce the price. That can also be done, or we are going to revise terms of sale. So these are called as probable changes to pricing strategy. So whatever strategy you had formulated, it can be a good strategy, but eventually it may require certain modifications when you go for implementing them in the market. Now let me exemplify what kind of changes we are going to make. When I say adjusting price to maximize profit, there are two questions in front of us. The first question is, are your products price elastic or inelastic? This is the first question. You have to ask yourself whether the price of my product is elastic or inelastic. when I say elastic or inelastic, what kind of reaction is there in my mind, or what kind of response I am going to give to this to these two situations. If the price of my product is highly elastic, it means any change into the price is going to have some impact on the quantity sold out as well. So before making changes into the price, I had to keep this thing in mind, that the price of my product is highly elastic. But if it is inelastic, then also it is a point of concern, that where there what happens, the change in price is not going to have any impact on the demand. And it is very much applicable or appropriate in case of life saving drugs, where the products prices are inelastic, and regardless of their prices, customers are going to buy. The second question is, what are your competitors prices, what my competitors are going to charge. So we have to understand that what my competitors are charging from me, what are your competitors prices. These two questions are very important for us. Before you adjust prices to maximize profit, you have to ask these two questions to yourself, and accordingly you have to formulate a strategy. If your products prices are highly elastic, accordingly you have to take decision. If they are inelastic, then too you have to take decision accordingly. But in any case, you cannot charge more than what your competitors are charging. Second is reacting to market prices. As a part of ongoing market research, you have to always keep an eye on current market prices for your products. If your competitors prices are declining, if your competitors are charging reduced price, you will also have to do the same. Otherwise, what will happen, you will lose customers if you don't lower the prices. If you don't reduce the prices, your customers may leave you and join your competitors team. So along with that, if competitors prices rise, it is important to you to consider the increase in prices, cause it is coming as an opportunity for you, for your business financial health, to raise prices. You can contribute to the total profit of your business. Now when we talk about revising terms of sale, it can be in terms of changing credit policies, it can be in terms of introducing discounts, arranging financing, and many more. There are different ways to change your pricing strategy. To revise the terms of sale, you can either change the credit policy, you can offer extended credit period to your customers to attract them or to ensure that they are with you. You can introduce certain amount of discount or offer 0% finance as well. Nowadays, e-commerce payment methods are also very much important for the pricing strategies. So after you are creating an inviting e-commerce environment for shoppers, you have to be sure that there has to be a quick or real-time transfer of funds into your account. So consumers may pay for online purchase using their different modes called credit card, debit cards, e-cash, smart cards, and e-wallets. But in any case, marketers' target is to have the maximum profit along with the greater value addition, and ensuring that customers are satisfied with your pricing strategy. So with this, my dear learners, we had a very long discussion on the pricing strategies, policies, and techniques which we are using in the subject of marketing management and also in the market. So I hope you must have understood the entire idea of pricing policies and strategies. With this, I am concluding this topic. Thank you so much.